everybody. Welcome to another episode of Comic Book Weekly. And guys, we got a pretty good show for you in store. A lot of us are having issues today. Kat had some tech issues. Chris just has issues, and I just had a busy,
And no one has comic book issues, so this is not a comic show anymore.
busy
We just have
weekend.
personal issues.
Yeah. So, of course, guys, I am Mike Spider Slayer from the YouTube channel Comic Book Corner 2.0. And yes, I have down below Comic Uno.
Hey
That
guys,
rhymed, and I did not even mean to do that. I'm like a natural rapper.
No.
I would like to see the second line, what that rap would be. But
And then next to me, I have Chris, Dark Avenger C86.
What's going on, everybody?
So, yes, guys, we got a great show for you today. It doesn't look like Brant's going to be able to come on. Unfortunately, he also had an insane week when it comes to like personal issues and moving and all kinds of stuff. So he did not have a chance to read his books. That's the biggest thing there. So he will be back hopefully next week. And but we got the rest of the cast on here, and we're going to kick it off with some of the news, and we'll talk about these comic books that came out this week and what we're looking forward to the most. So let's go ahead and let's get started.
yeah, and there was actually a lot of comics this week. Also, apologize. I'm using my earbud microphone, so if I sound a little different, I'm sorry about that.
I wonder if I could up your volume.
Do I sound low because of it?
No, I'm wondering if I can. No, mic volume's in beta. You might be able to do it on your own. There's a mic volume slider, but I can't touch it for you.
No, I'll definitely figure it out. If you guys have any issues, let me know. But yeah, so we do have a show. We have some news to talk about. So we're going to start with some media news. And we have the images that were revealed for the He-Man Netflix cartoon. That's the Kevin Smith cartoon.
So good. So good. I'm excited.
It looked good. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I thought like He-Man looked cool. Skeletor looked cool. You know, I was just like, this is not bad. So, you know, hopefully it'll be a good show. But, you know, I'll be excited to actually see some He-Man just in general. So, yeah.
I feel like it's like the old cartoons we watched, Mike, except they updated the quality a little bit. Honestly, I loved it. It looked amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I think it looks really cool, and I'm excited. I'm curious to see like how much they change of it. You know,
True.
We will see how that all goes.
Orko looked like they beefed him up a bit. You saw Orko.
Yeah, I think Kat's going to be excited for this one too.
Mm-hmm,
I'm so
definitely.
excited. Those images, I was just like, there's He-Man, there's the other man, and it was great. So excited. But we do have some more news of things that I'm not excited for because I don't know anything about these franchises. But Snake Eyes had a trailer come out. I wish Brant was here to discuss that.
I wish he was too. He's probably as excited as I am. That trailer was awesome. I loved it. I can't wait. This is a movie I can't wait to see now.
You know, I thought the trailer looked kind of cool, but it was too short for me. You know,
That's true. Yeah.
I started getting excited when I saw the helmet, and I'm like, oh yeah, that looks freaking cool. And then it just ended like basically right after that. So I was like, I wasn't like blown away by it. I mean, I think it's cool that they're having the movie. I like Snake Eyes as a character, probably one of the best G.I. Joe characters that actually, you know, have ever existed besides Storm Shadow and maybe Cobra Commander. But I think this will probably be the best G.I. Joe movie that there actually is, being that it's focused around Snake Eyes, right?
I definitely agree.
We also, Tevia's telling us news about, which I've been hearing inklings of Warner Brothers and Discovery merging. I have not heard that being confirmed though. I didn't see any like legit places talk about it. I was wanting to ask you guys, did you see anybody legit talking about it yet? Or it looks like it has been confirmed today. And sorry you're hearing a phone ring. I honestly don't have a lot of opinions on it. I don't really know much about it with Discovery, like AT&T. I don't know how that's going to affect DC Comics. I really don't know.
I have no comment on it.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
don't know. There's not enough information. I feel like that is going to really that I can give an actual opinion. I think it's too early to figure out what's happening, and it's going to be a while before everything gets worked out. And who knows at this point? I'm not Mr. Businessman, so I couldn't tell you anything, right?
Mm.
Yeah, like you said, a little bit too early to tell. See what effects that's going to take. Well, we do know DC. Yeah, we do know that means DC Comics will be affected, but again, we don't know how or why or what that's going to do for other stuff. So, we're gonna move on to some comic news, though. So I'm going to talk about this because Runaways is getting 100th issue, and we knew that, but the co-creator, so the artist, is going to be on the book as well, and Chris Anka's returning, so I'm super excited. It also sounded like it wasn't getting canceled in the article, and that's always a fear with Runaways. Like, oh no, is this the last issue? So it says, oh, it's going to like do a lot for what's to come for Runaways. I'm like, okay, cool. So we're still getting Runaways. That's positive. Cover looked great, and I'm stoked because I love my Runaways, and I know no one else here reads it. So that was my only thoughts on Runaways.
I don't have anything to say about Runaways, but I'm glad you like it and glad that it's going to be continuing. At least it's, better than being canceled or actually getting another volume. So that's good that they're continuing it.
Celebrations are always good. It's always good to celebrate 100 issues. We'll see what happens. Next week, a new issue comes out, but we'll talk about that with most anticipated. But next, we also have Eric Larson is coming up with a new series called Ant. I know Mike is interested in this one.
Yeah, so Ant is a series that actually has been around for quite a while. I remembered reading the article, and I remember that he finished off the original creators volume most recently. Like, I want to say, when I say recently, I want to say a couple years ago. He finished it off, and he actually bought the property from the creator because the creator was very inconsistent about Ant, like, releasing stories about it and everything like that. And he just finds the character very interesting. So he decided that he wanted to get this character and write continuous stories about it. I mean, he said he's been working on this situation like 10 years. So I think it's kind of cool that he acquired it. And I think it's also cool that he's actually doing, like, he'll be doing something else besides Savage Dragon, which I think is kind of cool. And I can honestly see these two books crossing over with each other or something of that nature. There's actually a cover, and I don't know if this is true with the character, where obviously it's a female because she's got the biggest rack on the planet. Of course, that's the way he draws her. But she has her, like, taking off the suit like it's a symbiotic suit. So it looks interesting. So I don't know what to expect there, but I am excited for it and excited to see, something else that he's writing.
So we also have some Marvel news. We have a couple of series that are announced, but the ones we want to discuss is Kang is getting his own series. Let me see who's writing this. This is going to be in August. It's exploring his origins. We know maybe the Young Avengers character, maybe Iron Lad, will be involved as well. And this is written by some writers who've worked for DC Comics. They did some death metal one-shots and miniseries. Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly. So that's kind of cool. I'm interested from a Young Avengers standpoint what this is going to be about, and we haven't seen Kang in a while. And Fantastic Four is at the forefront, which we'll be discussing more Fantastic Four this week with its own issue. But yeah, it's cool that they're doing this. I'll probably give the first issue a shot.
I'm not.
You're not gonna try it out?
No.
Kang doesn't interest me at all.
I don't feel like a Kang book is needed, in my opinion. Like, I really don't think I don't have any interest. I'm not even a huge fan of the villain in general, right? So, and I know he's heavily connected to a lot of things, but just for me, like, and I could have a different take on it maybe later on, but as of right now, I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm just not a fan of him. The last thing he was in was Symbiote Spider-Man in the King in Black tie-ins, and I could not stand him in that book for some reason. So maybe, we get it, different writer on it, obviously, but I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of the character to make me go out there and say, oh man, I want to pick out that Kang the Conqueror book, right? So I don't know. We'll see.
Chris, if you have any opinions, you said you weren't going to pick it up. The next thing is actually going to be Cabel returning with Cabel Reloaded. I'm going to be back in a second.
Cabel sounds interesting. I'm interested in what they're going to do with Reloaded. Was it the old Cabel, or are we getting young Cabel, though?
No, it's Old Man Cabel.
It's Old Man Cabel?
Because young Cabel is currently in his own series.
Right.
And Jerry Duggan writes it. However, I don't think a lot of people are enjoying it. And I myself don't enjoy it. And when young Cabel was introduced a while back, he was written differently the way he is written now.
Yeah.
He's not like hardcore. And he's been hinting at bringing Old Man Cabel back himself. So I'm excited for this. I personally am. I can't stand seeing young Cabel anymore. We need Old Man Cabel.
Yeah.
And we need something for the X-Men, some originality, something to go back to. I know we got the Gala coming out, but I think people are starting to get tired of this version of the X-Men, and they need something that they can grasp onto that's something that's familiar for people. And I think that's what a lot of people are looking for.
Absolutely. I'll definitely be checking the one shot out.
I got this comment real quick. It said from David Berg about the Kang thing. He said, Mike's going to read it and it'll put $10 on it.
Well, honestly, I think you're at least going to give that first issue a shot. I think so.
I have a feeling if it's a light week and your comic shop has, I think you're going to end up taking it. If it's a light week, I see you getting it.
It's never a light week for me, though. Like,
I still see maybe your comic shop will give it to you something. It's going to be in that hall. Be like, I know I said I wasn't going to get it, but, and there it is.
It has a cool cover, so I'm going to buy it.
Yep.
But what happens there? But yeah, going back to Cabel, I think that's cool. Obviously, I really like the character, and I do agree. I think we need to go back to basics in some regard, even if it's just a one-shot. So, Marvel news, there was a couple other series that were announced, but those are the ones we wanted to discuss. We have one more topic, and that's actually going to lead us into our main topic, which is going to be the Fantastic Four book. And Fantastic Four is celebrating its 35th anniversary with the return of John Romita Jr. We have Mark Waid on there as well. And I think it's just cool. Not that John Romita Jr. is on it. I think it's cool that we actually are getting some bigger stories with the Fantastic Four. I feel like, honestly, it's been under the radar a lot of times because no one talks about this book. It's like, what's happening? So it's cool that we have this wedding coming up. We have the celebration of the anniversary. So, yeah, I'm glad there's more spotlight to those characters.
When Marvel took the Fantastic Four away because of the movies or whatever, I feel like they took them out of the spotlight, which they never did before and they never should have done to begin with. And then bringing them back, it's just been a rough return for the Fantastic Four. They've been back, a couple of years now, and they've just not really hit much. They really haven't hit much since.
Well, Mike, do you have any opinions on the anniversary? Do you want to move on to this issue? Because there's a lot to happen.
I just want to let you know, I think your earbuds are cutting out or something.
Something.
I think we had some people lose the feed also because we had a big drop off of viewers on here too. Like we had like almost 30 viewers and all of a sudden it went to 18 and someone said that they lost the feed also. So
let me check.
Yeah.
It's been working well today. So do you hear me now with my earphones? Or
you just keep cutting out. Like I hear you at times and then other times.
Both channels were live. Both channels are live.
It's kind of low. That's why. All right, I'll be back in a second.
Okay. All right. So what were we talking about? The Fantastic
Four.
What was it about? Because I lost the whole thing. Was it about
the 60th, the anniversary, the wedding, and then I had mentioned, everything's working again, by the way. And then I mentioned about how since Marvel took them away because of the movies and whatever, they want to take them out of the spotlight. Bringing them back has been like the hardest thing.
So I recently started reading Fantastic Four again, and I've enjoyed it. I'm interested in this whole wedding situation. I'll probably pick up the anniversary issue because I think it's something that you should get because it's a nostalgic thing. It's a comic series that's been around forever, and even though John Romita Jr. is drawing it, I think I've seen some preview art on it, and it actually looks pretty good. I think he's kind of really taking his time with it, and I think he has an easier time drawing Marvel characters because he's been drawing more Marvel for his lifetime than he's been doing DC. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
And I think he wants to prove to people, not that he has anything to prove because he's been in the business for years, but I think he realizes that maybe people are dogging on his artwork and maybe he wants to show them that he still got it,
Definitely. People are still saying the feed dropped.
Now?
No. So I don't know. You're fine.
Okay.
You personally are fine. Your earbuds or your audio is messed up.
I'll take off my earbuds and see if that helps. Let's see.
Okay. Technology day.
Oh, I hear it.
She's like, I'm done.
Welcome to This Week in Comic Book Weekly, where the tech just is continually screwing us up from the feed.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
That's so. Today's been a day.
Today.
You're actually good though now.
Okay, I'm just not gonna have my earphones in. So if there's any,
They keep saying the feed is frozen. I don't understand why the feed is frozen.
the feed's okay on my side.
On my end, I could see it on YouTube perfectly. I see both of them still. I'll click it again.
It's all right. I mean, I seem all right. Maybe it froze for them. I don't know.
Maybe. It has to be for
Something's
them.
not right.
I don't know.
All right. Well, let's keep going because we do have an audio show and
Right.
right.
Luckily, we have an editor as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, editor, for fixing all of this dumb stuff that's been happening for this episode.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it's a YouTube thing.
Yeah, it is, because YouTube went down. I got an email today about that. YouTube's been screwing up today hardcore.
And StreamYard had too. Like I was doing another podcast and I couldn't even start another StreamYard link. So I don't know. Thank you for bearing with us, guys. Definitely stay on that link if you can and just keep refreshing.
Yeah.
But yeah, going to the main topic, which is our Fantastic Four topic. Fantastic Four. There was a lot that happened this week we finally got the reveal of who Dr. Doom is marrying. We got a lot of drama between Johnny and that person. And honestly, a tease that Alicia might be the next puppet master because you got that like little panel, which was super interesting that she was controlling Lyra. That was very cool.
Yeah. I mean, this issue was really cool in general. Before we get into it though, there was Renee says, in your guys' opinion, what makes a good Fantastic Four story? And that's kind of an easy one. It's the family. If you write the family right, then that's a good Fantastic Four story because obviously it's all about the family. It's the interactions with the family. And if you don't write that well, if those characters are not in character, you're not going to have a good Fantastic Four story. And I feel like Dan Slott is doing a pretty good job. I think right now he's peaking right now when it comes to this story. But in general, though, with this issue, I thought it was really awesome. I think a lot of us already knew who this person was that Doom was going to marry. And we made a joke about it before it was actually revealed, right? And so we're going to reveal it, right? Obviously, the person that it is Victorious, right? And it's the person that's been at Dr. Doom's side, and he basically asked her hand in marriage while she just got done screwing Johnny Storm. That was crazy, man. I did not expect that to happen in that book.
Unnecessary drama, though, because like there's so much drama with Johnny. You had the Lyra thing come up. You had Soulmate Girl. You have this now. It's like, okay, let's like focus on one piece of drama here. It was definitely a lot, in my opinion. I like the backup story with Dr. Doom. The best man thing was pretty cool.
I didn't see that coming, though. I didn't see him going to ask him to be his best man. I'm like, wow, that's pretty much a surprise right there.
Yeah, and the setup was really good for that. I'm trying to think. Again, I really like the Alicia thing. I thought that was like, I'm like, oh, cool. Where's that going to go? So there's a lot of pieces I liked. I just don't know. It's just very soapy. And I know Fantastic Four has been soapy in the past, but I'm like, okay, this is like.
No, it just hasn't. It hasn't hit the same notes since Marvel dropped them for a while and then they came back. Even the FF stuff, people didn't like FF. I personally liked it with Spider-Man and the kids. It just, ever since they took them out, bringing them back has been like the hardest thing because they hadn't been around for so much, and I feel like they don't know how to read anymore a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, you know what though, I honestly though, I know this one had a lot of drama in it, but I've enjoyed the previous issues of this, and I love the way the artwork is and whatnot. But yeah, the crazy love triangle going on. I didn't think he was going to be, with his ex-wife, with Victorious, but what does that mean for him and his, for his soulmate? What's her name? Sky, right?
Sky, yeah. I don't know. It's interesting because I don't know if they've really done a good job of building that relationship where you're like, oh my God, I care so much about them. Like, I don't care.
Right. But what it does is it brings in the other relationship, with the Skrull.
Yeah.
And it's just like, she was a major part of his life. I know he thought she was somebody else at one point, because it was all fake and everything else. But how would it, man, I don't know. And then what would happen to Johnny, though, if Dr. Doom finds out that he was messing around with her?
I mean, I think he kind of already did. Didn't he walk in on them?
No, he was he was making a phone call.
Oh, okay.
Remember, it was like, I know it's probably one of the first books you read, but it was one of those hologram phone calls.
Oh, right. So he stepped out. I mean, I don't know. Does he really care about her? I think he's just getting married to her for shits and giggles at this point. I guess we'll see as the story goes on, but we also don't know why the marriage is happening.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he needs a queen by his side. That's what he said. So, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens, but I'm glad that we are getting Fantastic Four. That's what I am, and I'm glad that that we're getting some decent stories and they're not off the grid anymore. And I think they're trying to pump it up a little bit because maybe this is just my thought that with their anniversary, we could get a teaser in the future with Fantastic Four.
That would be good.
So that's my theory there. And they're trying to pump it up a bit.
Definitely let us know how the feed's going, guys, because people dropping off. So. Oh
yeah, big time.
It's going to be, I think it's going to be one of those shows where we just go through everything and pray that we have our live audience with us for it. This is more for the audio, I think, this week.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be more for the post live this week. Sorry about that, guys. Not our fault. YouTube fault, technology fault. But yeah, that was all the news. So we do have our shout out of the week for the Kickstarter, and that is my good friend Julius. So thank you, Julius, for backing up the Kickstarter, supporting us. And yeah, he actually has a story coming up in the Bisexual Anthology. So that's really cool. So if you want to see some of his work, he's got a really cute story, and I'm very, very excited for it. So yeah, people can't get the video right now, but we are going to move on to Under the Radar for you guys who are sticking around.
Yeah, we're getting into them comic books, and we're going to start off with Under the Radar. This week, I'm starting with my book, which is Birthright issue 49. They found the parents. They made it to Tyrannos, and they get the story about the parents. The parents got older. I'm the only one that reads Birthright, I think, at this point.
Yeah,
correct?
I did. I skimmed through this issue. I didn't really read it, so I
loved it. The reunion was good, and then in the end, Brennan decides he's going to stay on Tyrannos. So basically, everybody in the family now has, at one point or another, either been stuck or left on Tyrannos. I love the ending with the big family group picture. Everybody, apparently time moves faster in Tyrannos, so everybody's older. And then Mikey goes back. The one thing is, I think this would have been a great place to make like an ending, a couple more pages and make an ending. They're ending the series with the next issue, and the next issue is going to be about the last Dark Wizard. I forgot her name. It starts with a P, but she's on Earth still, and they have to deal with her. But Brennan's on Tyrannos. Mikey and his wife are the only two left on Earth now, and it's like, why? Why is that how we're going to end the series? This was a perfect way to end the series, and they're adding another issue, and I hope that it doesn't ruin the special ending feeling, but maybe Brennan will come back, and that'll be like the definitive ending. I don't know, but I just felt like this was a perfect way to end the series, but we're going to have one more issue of it. But I did enjoy it. The artwork, as always, amazing, and the story just continues to, well, there's one more issue left, so the story has been very, very good, in my opinion. This has been a slower arc. The last arc's been the slowest, but I thought this was a really solid second to last issue, and that's my book. Mike, what do you got this week?
Mine was actually Heroes Reborn issue 2.
I was shocked to see that as you're under the radar.
Yeah, because I just feel like I don't know if there's people out there that never tried it or are thinking about dropping it, or I just want to let them know that it's still kind of good. And actually, it's not kind of good. It's actually better. I liked it better than the first issue. It wasn't such cheesy dialogue. We get Hyperion, who is obviously a school teacher in this issue, and he has to stop things coming through the negative zone. He gets in touch with Reed Richards, and all these things are happening. They're going through the negative zone, and you see him defeating all these enemies and creatures, and you get to see a little glimpse of that Amazing Spider-Man Shutterbug tie-in in that issue also, which was kind of cool. And then you get to see him like battle the Hulk, because the Hulk realizes that there's something wrong in this universe. And the descriptive of him taking down the Hulk was just intense. It was like, he's like, I had to kill the Hulk like 12 times in order for him to stay dead. It was like so crazy. Artwork was really good. A lot of action in it. Man, I'm digging this book. I'm like, this is a lot better than I expected to be. It's not perfect. Again, just things happen kind of randomly. Like all of a sudden we got Blade, who somehow freed Captain America from the ice in this issue, and you get to see him at the end of it. You know, it's not every day you can just thaw somebody out, just you by yourself, but it just happens to be that way. But again, it was fun. It was a good read. I enjoyed it, and I'm going to continue to go with it.
Gotcha. Real quick, I want to throw this out there. Trent just said it's happening to all live streams. It's not just us. He went on 2 other live streams, and they're having the same issue, so it's YouTube.
I think, because we're going through StreamYard, though, obviously try to stick with us live, but if you guys want to watch post live as well, I'm sure it'll be, better by tomorrow, and we'll have this posted as well.
Yes. So, Kat, what's your under the radar this week?
My under the radar is a book that no one reads either, and that is American Vampire 1976, issue 8. And we are also getting towards the end of this book, and we got to see a little bit more of Skinner here and delve into his personal woes. And I liked it. I like when the book's a bit more character-driven, and I'm glad we got an issue like this because it's kind of been a while. We were focusing a lot on the main villain. So, overall solid issue.
Awesome. And that's our under the radar this week. I will be turning it over now to Mike with our top 5 and our big books of the week.
All right, yeah, baby, with all freaking 9 viewers that are on the stream right now.
Hey, for 11 viewers, whoever's sticking with us, let us know in the comments.
And we got Paul Strickland says, I've been enjoying Heroes Reborn. I went all in with tie-ins and everything. Wow, man.
That's a lot.
I am sticking to my guns. I am not getting all the tie-ins. I am literally only getting that Amazing Spider-Man one and the Spider-Gwen one where she's Batgirl. Those are the only 2 ones, and I'm sticking with that because I'm buying the freaking Gala, whatever you want to call it, and I'm buying Star Wars. So between those, I'm not buying Heroes Reborn tie-ins.
I think Spider-Gwen and the Spider-Man one we'll obviously talk about this week. And I was thinking Young Squadron, but I'm like, I don't really think I want. I'm not even reading Champions. So, yeah, those are only 2 I'm getting as well.
Gotcha. All right. So now it's time to talk about the big books of the week and our top 5. So, of course, guys, there will be spoilers. So
and this is where
if you haven't read your books yet, I still haven't read actually all my books. I still have like 5 books left to read.
What didn't you read?
Huh?
I said, what didn't you read?
I don't know. They're not here. They're on the counter in the thing. I didn't read Urban Legends. I didn't read that.
That was pretty good.
did. Oh, it's my top 5.
And then what is it? I didn't read Star Wars, Guardians of the Galaxy. And then there's 2. I think there's 2 other books that I didn't read. Oh, the independent book, the Time book.
Uh-huh.
I didn't read that one either. So I just couldn't do it because we also had our dishwasher broke recently, and I had dishwasher delivered as well. So it's been one hell of a crazy month, man. I had my freaking what's it called? Dishwasher break, had to get that replaced. I had my refrigerator break, had to get that replaced. The AC broke last week. I had to get that fixed as well. Had a dance competition to go to for my daughter, and my son had his tennis tournament this Saturday, and he actually won his first tennis tournament.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations.
So thank you. So that was really cool, but it's been busy. So that's why I was like, man, I had like 20 books to read. And then it's like, I am lucky I got that much read. So
it was a big week for books for sure. And
Yeah.
I don't know what's with technology this week, man, but it doesn't seem like it's doing anyone favors. I was telling the guys today, I was on the phone with Apple since I woke up to like now. And I was like, oh my God. And this is just it was all just to get like videos uploaded onto my computer. That was the issue. It wasn't even like anything crazy. It was just like, I need to get videos uploaded because tomorrow I have my review. Took hours. And then obviously all this happened. My mic's not working for this. The YouTube's not working. It's been
I added us to Twitch, and Twitch is working a lot better. So if people want to see a nice stream, you can go over to Twitch. I think Facebook might be working good too. Both Mike's and mine are streaming this.
Thank you guys for sticking with us. And yeah, we got all those big books. We actually did have a lot of books this week. I read 14, and there's a lot of like, again, the Urban Legends, the Asian DC Festival book came out as well. So there was a lot of like expensive and bigger books that like came out.
All right, so let's get into it then. So the first book that I hated, X Corp issue 1.
Yeah,
I got halfway through it.
I read some of it, and then I couldn't. I tried 3 separate occasions, and I absolutely hate this book. Like, I knew I was going to hate it. I bought it anyway. I looked at it. I hated it. I started reading it. I hated it. Everything about it was just, oh my God. They have a flying island. Like, what is that about? Right? Like, that's ridiculous. And I'm just not into that. Like, I can't get into, like, whenever X-Men ever came out, right? Do you think Chris Claremont would ever say, dude, I'm going to make a floating island and then I'm going to make them all business people and we're going to have board meetings? Like, come on, man. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
It was definitely, I think, all what we feared is going to be board meetings, and that's pretty much it. And that definitely was it. It was very wordy and
boring.
Yeah, was not a fan. I will not be getting the next issue. It was very long. It's probably my least favorite of the X-Men books in a really long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boring.
Unfortunately. All-time low, 5 viewers, guys.
Yeah, no, we have not ever hit.
We have people on Twitch. We have 5 viewers on Twitch, so add 5 to that because they don't include Twitch in the comments or in the feed.
I think it's just on the 2 YouTube channels. I think that's what they included on.
Yeah. That's YouTube.
All right. So next we're going to move on. And I actually did not buy this book. And I wanted the Art Germ variant for this, but I didn't buy it because I didn't want to spend the $10 on it. And I'm sure it's a cool book. But it's the DC Festival Heroes issue 1.
I got that Art Germ.
Yep.
Lucky.
I actually liked it. I thought that all the stories were good. I
agree.
That was a surprise because usually with these anthologies, there's always like one story that's not great. And honestly, I liked every single one. Cassandra's story was really good and really sweet. And it's nice because these are all characters that don't normally get the spotlight. You know, Cassandra Cain doesn't have her own book. Grace Choi, we never get to see. So it wasn't like, oh, here's another Batman story. It felt like it had a lot of heart, the book. And I really liked it. I honestly recommend it. If you like anthologies, I'm not, I don't know if Mike needs to go rush to the comic book store to get it. But if you are an anthology fan or a fan of any of these characters, it's a really well done anthology, well edited anthology.
Right.
100% agree. I love
I
the King
just
Kong story as
my
well.
thing was I know Urban Legends was expensive book, and then
This was better than Urban Legends. I
This-
liked Urban Legends, but I
yeah,
thought it was better.
and this was a $10 book, right? So it was like between the two books, I was like, man, two books, $20, and I was like,
Monkey Prince, his first appearance.
yeah, and then I was just like. I was like, in Urban Legends, I'm only going to read the one story. And then in this one, I'm like, what if I don't like this one? And I'm buying it just for a cover. So I just couldn't justify the money for it. So that was kind of the deal there for me, I guess.
Urban Legends, just going on that one for a second. The Lady Shiva story was actually pretty good. It was a pretty solid story. About Cassandra as well.
I didn't read that. I didn't read that one. I read just the Red Hood story.
Red Hood is, as always, very good. The other two I kind of care less about, but yeah, the second story was good. But I definitely get it money-wise. It's an expensive book, and like I said, don't rush to the comic book store, but I think it's an important book because obviously celebrating Asian culture and Asian creators and Asian characters. And like I said, it was actually a good read, so I enjoyed it.
Serenity goes, this was the best anthology book they've released. They usually have one or two good stories, but most of these were really good, and I loved all the characters, new and old. So
I agree with that, actually.
That's actually really good.
Too.
And then he also mentioned about what's it called? X Corp, and he says, reading it, I knew X Corp is not going to be for the mainstream, but I'm not the mainstream, so he loved it. So that's funny.
Serenity always has a different opinion. That's why we love him.
Absolutely. And that's good. That's what we want here. We want different opinions, right? All right. So let's move forward now. We're going to talk about the second issue of Silver Coin. So this is very much a hack and slash horror story comic straight out of Friday the 13th. That's basically what I read in this particular issue. Really not too much of the story. You know, girl getting bullied. She comes across the coin as she was being attacked, picks up the machete with the coin, starts hacking, slashing all her camp buddies, and that's basically the issue. What did you think of this one?
Disappointed, honestly, because I was really looking forward to this. I'm a huge slasher fan, and I'm a huge Kelly Thompson fan. And I thought it was just pretty bland, very predictable.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of character development, so you didn't really care about any of the girls. They're all very hollow. They didn't really use the coin that much in this story either. So I definitely like the first issue more than this one.
Yeah. The coin was just happened to be in the machete, and it was like the machete was thrown at the wall and it missed her, and she picks it up, and then she becomes possessed. It was just kind of weird, right? She's not even actually holding the coin. It's like the sword is holding the coin, and yet she still becomes this possessed thing. Yeah, it wasn't as good as I thought. I mean, it could have been better. So hopefully the next issue will be better. All right. So let's move on to our number 5. And Chris, what was your number 5?
Mine was what we just talked about, the the DC Festival of Heroes, the Asian Superhero Celebration one shot.
All right. And Kat, what was your number 5?
My number 5 was, let's see, it was Mighty Morphin, issue 7, Power Rangers. I've been liking this book. Overall, it's been really solid. This one we get to see a little bit more of a background of the villains kind of becoming the heroes here, which was kind of cool. And yeah, we get to see why the Green Power Rangers working with Lord Zed and all that, and everything kind of comes to a head in that regard. And overall, pretty solid issue.
Pretty cool. All right. And so I guess we're left with my number 5, right? And so my number 5 was a book we definitely already talked about, and that was actually Fantastic Four, issue 32. I love the drama of the Fantastic
You
Four.
love the soapiness.
It's like the days of our lives of comic books. That's what this issue was.
It definitely was.
Yeah. And I like that every once in a while. It's fine. All right. So let's move on now. Let's talk about the Joker issue 3. For me, I like this issue. Don't get me wrong. But this one wasn't nearly as good as the
first 2.
Or nearly as good as issue 1. I felt like this was the issue before the action actually gets going. There was a lot of talk and dialogue and memories and things like that, and then it kind of gives you a surprise that, oh, hey, shit, all of a sudden Gordon comes face to face with the Joker just like that.
I definitely like that though, because I didn't like this issue as much as issue 2 and issue 1, but I like the idea that Commissioner Gordon's like, I got the Joker all figured out.
Yeah.
This is why. And then in the end, it's like, oh, never mind. The Joker, you never have him figured out. And that
exactly.
he like, up with him. I thought it was a nice twist.
Yeah.
I like Bane's daughter in here. It's definitely lower in my top 5 this week. I like the first 2 issues more as well, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Gordon now that he's stuck with the Joker.
It just showed glimpses of all the characters that are coming, but nothing happened with anybody. There was really no story progression in this particular issue. It was just the whole Joker scene right there. I mean,
it's only point A to point B.
Yeah, it really was.
Really getting to the Joker.
You saw him get on the jet. You saw him, get the card. I like that. The aspect of when he was like, oh, what if I just take the 25 million and just go, And she's like, well, I hope you would make the right call, So there was some good moments. And I'm not saying this was still a really good comic book, but it just wasn't near issues 1 or 2, in my opinion.
Agreed.
All right. So let's move on and let's talk about, I don't know, Kat and I read this one. Brant does too. 7 Secrets, issue 8. Was this a better issue, Kat, than the last one for you?
Yeah, it was better than the last. I'm trying to think what happened in this issue. Was not as, it's definitely still not where it used to be. It didn't make my top 5, but
you get to reveal what happened in the other case.
Right, which was a little underwhelming. But I was like, okay, that's cool, I guess.
All of Switzerland wound up getting blown up.
That was interesting. That was like, okay, at least it's like, it definitely had a lot of big action pieces in this issue. But
right.
It's not exactly where that first arc was for me.
No, and I agree with you. It was more about, oh, look what happened. What do we need to do? How do we get away? But it was still good, but I just felt like it's missing something right now. It's missing that character growth. And I think when the book went on hiatus, I think it hurt it. And then when it wound up going into this different dimension, right, to meet Casper's so-called people that raised him, I think that hurt it also. It kind of ruined the momentum. And so now we're kind of like, okay, well, now we're just getting back to things a little bit. So, but I'm still going to read it. Still going to see where it goes from there.
No, yeah, for sure. It's definitely still on my pull list. Still a book I'm looking forward to.
I gotta catch up.
Definitely that first arc. That first arc blew my mind, especially as an anime fan. Is an anime come to life, which is a cool concept.
Right. All right. So next,
guys, woo!
And next we have number 4 on our list. So, Kat, what was your number 4 this week?
This hasn't been in my top 5 in the longest time, and that is the Amazing Spider-Man King's Ransom issue.
That was so good. Oh, you probably loved it because of the suit change.
Well, I was shocked by it because I like the whole new Avengers stuff. I thought that was good. I like the boomerang stuff. I'm like, oh, I kind of wish like every issue was like this because it felt a little bit more cohesive. It felt like it was one story. There wasn't like a ton of kindred in it. Spider-Man was the main character of the issue. I thought it was a pretty solid issue. I really liked the end. Like I said, I like the idea of the whole boomerang thing. And him, it seems like he's a little guilty about it. Like you can see that, okay, his story's not over here.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it too. It just felt like,
too bad Brant's not here for this. He probably
I know. It felt like a real Spider-Man story. There was good action. There was funny humor. It wasn't dumb. Obviously, he came to a realization that he can't make the same flipping mistakes over again. So he switches switches the costume, which was kind of cool. And it took how many issues, but this story is finally over. Like the whole boomerang story, everything that was been building up, all these story threads, it's finally ended in this issue. But the way they ended it was so good. and he did something that I didn't predict, and we should have predicted it because it's Boomerang, right? It's like he's going to come back and betray you. That's him. That's the character. That's Fred Myers. That's what he does. And how he screwed over Peter was actually, it sucked. And I think, like, yeah, he definitely developed some kind of relationship with him, but deep down, he doesn't want to admit it, you know, but he had to do the right thing to obviously keep himself alive, you know, to do the right thing for himself. It was great. I love this issue. I thought it was so good. And the artwork was really nice too. But yeah, the whole New Avengers thing was really cool, man. I love their interactions in this book. It was so funny.
I didn't expect it to be so good because I'm like, oh, they're just like name dropping. But I like the whole like, oh, you know, you didn't get the email stuff and like Wolverine trying to figure out if he was a defender or not. Like,
yeah.
I wish we got more issues like this. And
right.
We do.
And that shows you that, and I'm not saying he never has, but it shows you that Nick Spencer knows what he's talking about or what he's writing about, because he threw in all that stuff with the Defenders and the New Avengers. And also, this was in my panels, all the things that have happened in Spider-Man's life, like the symbiote, the Kraven the Hunter wearing his suit, like him being all these different, you know, characters, and how there's always something going on with Spider-Man, how he has an excuse for everything. So I agree with you. This is the best issue of Amazing Spider-Man I have read in a very long time.
I would say since the J. Jonah Jameson podcast issue for me.
Probably.
No.
Yeah, probably for sure. So, all right. So that was your number 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And Chris, you went?
No, I didn't go. Birthright.
You didn't go. Kat was first to go.
Right.
All
I'm
right.
Birthright.
Birthright. Okay. And mine was Heroes Reborn. That was mine. So we talked about that. All right. So let's move forward now to.
I'm surprised you guys got this book.
What's that?
The one that you're going to talk about next.
Future State Gotham?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not buying the next one.
I might be my last issue. The black and white and the.
It was in black and white too. I didn't even know that.
Oh my God! Yes, it's black
and white.
That's crazy.
So at first, I thought I got a sketch, like it was like a director's cut or something. But then when I noticed that's the main book, I'm like, what? Okay,
that's so weird.
So I bought this book and I was showing it off in my hall, and I opened it. And I'm like, I thought it was like the first page, maybe it was a flashback or something, and it was a whole book. I'm like, in my hall, I'm sitting there talking to the people. I'm like, why is this book in black and white? Like, I don't get it. Right? It just doesn't work. I'm not buying the next one.
Because also the previous book wasn't. So that's why I'm like, okay, maybe if the other Future State books were in black and white, that would make sense. But like,
yeah, it made no sense. Yeah, it made no sense.
That's so weird. Yeah, I was just like, I'm kind of done with Future State, so I'm like, I don't need this. Like, there were so many books that came out this week. I'd rather have gone like the DC Festival of Heroes than gotten Future State.
Right. I thought, okay, maybe it would be an interesting story going on with this, you know, and basically the story is about Red Hood, how he is actually trying out to be one of the peacekeepers. So they're calling him like a Red Keeper, or I don't know, I forgot what it was called, but I was just like, oh, so he's basically trying to be one of them. And I just wasn't into it. I couldn't get into it because of the lack of detail of art. I'm sorry, black and white comics, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. In this instance, it just didn't work. It lacked a lot of detail when you took away the color from it, right? So, not going forward with that one. All right, so next we talked about Mighty Morphin, right? We already talked about that. All right, so now we're going to go on to our number 3. And my number 3 was actually Black Cat issue 7. I really, issue 6. Sorry. I really enjoy the Black Cat series. We get to see her mentor Black Fox actually gets the immortality power. They obviously, gave them all of Manhattan in order to get this power. And now Black Cat has to figure out how to stop Manhattan from being basically destroyed. And Spider-Man is going to be in this issue. You got to see him at the end of the King's Ransom issue, how it tied in there at the end. You got to see that there too as well. But really good story. I enjoyed it. We had a little bit of Odessa Drake, and she's working with her again to try to stop from Manhattan being destroyed. Great character beats in here as well. And yeah, right now, Felicia is immortal. She can't die. And same with Black Fox. So we'll see
Just
how
like
that plays out as time goes on. 2 people, guys. 2 people are on.
I just looked it up because I was very curious. Our feed is completely down, and also I was looking on Twitter. YouTube's completely down. So this is gonna be fun.
Twitch is live. We are live on Twitch. People are talking on Twitch.
That's good. I'm glad we're live somewhere. I just hope this uploads correctly.
Oh boy. All right. So let's move forward now. We all talked about our number 3, right?
No.
No, you did.
I did. I started it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm all distracted. So, Chris, what was
We
your
all
number
are.
3?
I think we're all on
Joker. Yeah, we're all kind of. I'm keeping an eye on Twitch, but mine is Joker. We already talked about
mine
it.
was Joker as well. So we talked about it.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, so now we're going to move on to Justice League, The Last Ride.
Damn, Batman.
Chip Zdarsky book. Better than the original Justice League.
Leaps and bounds better.
This was surprising because at first, when I was reading the first couple of pages, I don't know if I like this because we don't really know what happened between Batman and Superman. But then when we found out in the end, I'm like, oh my God, this is a good book. Martian Manhunter died. What's going on?
Batman killed Martian Manhunter.
Batman killing Martian Manhunter. Supposedly. Correction on that one. Which was damn, that was really interesting. I liked it. I was like, this is how you do an Elseworld book. I was pleasantly surprised. I shouldn't be because it's Chip Zdarsky, but I still was.
Yeah.
Very good.
So looking forward to more of that as well. All right. So let's move on to number 2 on our list. And my number 2 was another Spider book this week was Peter Parker, The Amazing Shutterbug.
So good.
I need to read that. I missed it. The 2 Heroes Reborn books I missed this week. I'm going to read them later.
This one is such a good one-shot. You don't have to read anything else. Just read it as a one-shot. It's great.
It was so good. This is just basically what happens to Peter Parker if he did not get bit by the radioactive spider and how his life changes, right? And one thing was the Mary Jane situation. He never had Mary Jane. I mean, she lived next door to him, but never had a relationship with her, and then we just get to see him. We get to see what happens to Uncle Ben and Aunt May in this issue. We get to see the type of job that Peter Parker gets, and we get to see him interact with Hyperion in this issue as well. And then what happens to Peter at the end? Oh my God. I don't want to spoil it for Chris, but it was
out there.
Oh, dude, it was so good. I'm like, man, this is awesome. I loved this book.
The dialogue was so on point. It was just I haven't read a Spider-Man book like this probably since Life Story, and I really liked Life Story. And for all the things you mentioned, I love the conversation between him and not Mary Jane, that Aunt May, what ends up happening to her, and also just the theme of responsibility, not always having to deal with great power, and how you can still be a responsible person, and how do you become a good person. And Uncle Ben was around giving some good wisdom, and it was just such a good book. Artwork was so classic, and if you like Spider-Man, you need to read anything Heroes Reborn, go pick this one up.
I feel like this writer needs to write Spider-Man. He needs to write Peter, because he nailed it. He got it right, and it was so good, man. So flipping good. So good. So okay, now I lost track of thought.
That was your number 2. Me and Chris will do our number 2.
Yeah, and so Kat, what was your number 2?
Mine was Justice League: The Last Ride. We already talked about it.
And
Amazing
Chris.
Spider-Man. What do you call it? The big
The
Amazing
giant.
Spider-Man
whatever it's
King's
called.
Ransom. Yeah, whatever the damn big book's called. So good.
All right. So we move on to Batman Urban Legends issue.
So good. I love this issue so much. I love Batman. I love the Batman and the lollipop. Blue Hood. He just pulls it out, and Jason's like, "When did you start carrying lollipops?"
Yeah, and the idea of like this little kid not being another Robin, I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, she's like, "I don't want to be you to train this kid as another Robin." The flashback with Jason was good. It was good. I hope they make this a book without all the other side stories. When they make this a trade, I will buy it. I love it so much.
Too. I hope so too. That'd be really great. And I like the Lady Shiva episode issue as well. The story was really good for Cassandra. The other two I didn't really read that much, so I skipped those. But yeah,
so good. It's so good, and it makes me want to buy the single issues, but it's like $10. It's like no.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. But at the same time, Jason Todd issue is like a full comic, so that's kind of nice. Not a short story.
But think about it. This is already issue 3. That's $30 if you want to get all the back issues. That's a lot of money.
No, it's definitely a lot. Gotta be a big Batman fan.
Not that big. I love Red Hood. I have a cosplay for Red Hood. I am not spending $30 on just 3 books.
Yeah.
I remember a time where I walked into a comic shop, spent $30, and walked out with a bag this thick.
Oh, yeah. Those days are over.
Yeah,
those days are gone. Those days are gone.
I don't even remember. I mean, sometimes when I'll have like 5 comics to buy, I'll walk out with $30. But other than that.
Yeah, but not 3 books. No way. Not for 3 books.
No.
All right. Let's move on and let's talk about our number 1. My number 1 was actually Giant Size Amazing Spider-Man King's Ransom. Really enjoyed it. Had a blast. Way to do Amazing Spider-Man. Nick Spencer. Finally, it took you 60-something issues to do it, but you wrote your best one yet. So congratulations. And you wrapped up that whole Tablet of Life nonsense. You wrapped up the Boomerang story, and now you're going to get issue 66, and we're coming out on the other side there. And we'll see where it goes from there. Chameleon Conspiracy. That's where we're going. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I wish I could.
All right, Chris, what was your number 1?
Batman Urban Legend. Oh, Red Hood. Such a good story. I just hate that I can't recommend it to anyone who didn't read it so far because it's $30 for 3 books.
Okay. But you're getting 64 pages of comic, though.
It's true. It's true. I mean, it'll stack up to a nice stack.
And usually you get like 2 good stories.
You do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, Kat, what was yours?
Mine was Heroes Reborn, Peter Parker. Loved it. Really good issue.
Absolutely. All right. So, Chris, we're going to pass it on to you. We're going to do the chopping block.
And I think Mike and I both agree this week. X-Corp and
Definitely.
Gotham. Future State Gotham. Both of those are done. Mike, do you have anything else to add to that list? Because those are mine.
Yeah, I gave Batman the Detective another try.
Oh, you did?
And,
okay.
And I'm not saying it's not a bad book. It's just I read so much Batman, and this is just a Batman story that's not on top of my list compared to some of the other Batman stories that are out there.
Fair.
So I think I'm just going to drop this one.
Fair. Very fair. And Kat, do you have any books you're dropping?
Yeah, just X-Corp this week. That was an easy drop this week.
Yeah, that was a very easy drop. That book, no. So that's it for the chop block. Who's doing most anticipated? Because I don't have the drive up anymore because it was slowing my computer down.
I could do it. Oh no, you go for it, Mike.
Okay.
Take it away.
All right.
Go for it, Mike.
All right. Most anticipated. These are the books that we are looking forward to on this new comic book week, which actually started today for DC Comics, and the rest of the books come out on tomorrow. And the first book that we're going to be talking about is Nightwing issue 80. This is Tom Taylor's masterpiece here so far. His first 2 issues were awesome. We get the new character by the name of Heartless in here as well.
Yes,
what do you guys think about this? Excited?
New characters? Hell yeah. That's 3 debuts. We have Miracle Molly. We have Flatline and Robin, and now we have this character, Nightwing.
Yeah, we've had monkey. We have a lot. Monkey Prince. We have, every week there's a new character that
Well,
shows up.
I meant specifically Batman, but yeah, Monkey Prince
Specifically
too, yeah.
Batman. The Gardener also showing up in Batman.
Gardner.
I don't think there's anyone else. Oh, the Pain's Vengeance person. That's new as well for the Joker. A lot of new characters. But yeah, no, Nightwing's always on top of my list. I'm really enjoying it thus far.
Oh hell yeah, absolutely! And the
absolutely.
variants are just gorgeous. I want to get the second printing of Robin, the one with the. I gotta get that. I gotta get that when it comes out. I don't
Me
care
too.
that on the issue.
All right. So next we're going to talk about Daredevil. This is issue 30.
Another good book.
This is a one where we get Matt Murdock, who's lying basically dead on the floor and at the end of the last issue, and we get Elektra still training her little sidekick from the King in Black tie-ins. So how about this one, guys? Excited?
I'm very excited.
It's been a solid book.
Yeah, absolutely. And then next we have Star Wars Bounty Hunters issue 12.
Continuing this off. Did you read this week's Star Wars, Mike?
No, I said I didn't read it earlier. I
that's
didn't
right.
get a chance to read
I
it. So
won't
it's the
spoil
prelude.
it. I won't spoil it. It's
Right.
very good.
So the prelude to the War of the Bounty Hunters continues, and then after we get through all these books, then we'll get the main storyline. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Next, we have Kat's book, which is Runaways. This is issue 36. She's definitely on board.
So excited for this issue. This one, last issue we had the return of other Gert. So Gert from the original Gert. So she's back, and I'm so excited. Now we get to see more Caroline and Nico, because that's another reason to pick up Runaways.
And then, of course, we have Wonder Girl. This is issue 1. Yara Flora makes her return, and she's in her own series now. I'm really excited for this book. I love the Future State series, and
Thank you.
I can't wait for this one. Hopefully, it will continue to be good. The writing will be solid, and we'll be happy. And it's a more relatable Wonder Woman character.
Oh yeah, that's one of the only things I really liked from Future State. So I'm ready for Wonder Girl.
Yep. And then next we have Stray Dogs issue 4.
You.
I'm the only one that reads it here. Dude, it's so good. And the last issue was so heartbreaking. You wind up getting this crazy horror mystery that these dogs are trying to figure out, and it's all their former owners that seem like this guy killed all their former owners, and they're all women, and he keeps shoes and hats and pictures of them and stuff like that. And he tells the dogs not to go to certain places, but they're going in these places. They're digging up bones and stuff. And at the end of the last issue, one dog did something that they weren't supposed to, and the guy takes the dog out back and he shoots it. Oh my God. And his dog was one of the, and remember the animation to this is the, Disney animation, right? That's how the artwork is. And it was a Dalmatian, from 101 Dalmatians.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And obviously you don't see the dog getting shot. He takes him around back and you just hear a bang and a flash, but obviously you know what happens to the poor dog, So yeah, man, this book is intense, and I'm curious to see what happens with this next issue, but really good. All right. Next, we get the return of Chip Zdarsky's independent book, Stillwater. This is issue 7. So we get the return of the town where no one can die, get injured, whatever the case may be. Even age, if you're a kid, it's all a bunch of Wolverines and Deadpools running around in this town. It's basically what it is. I'm really looking forward to this. What do you think, Kat?
Oh yeah, me too. I don't quite remember what happened last issue, the particular details, because it's been a little while, but I love this book, and I think it's great, and there's a great mystery, and they build not just the main character, but the town really well in these first 6 issues.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so good. I really liked it, and the characters were a lot of fun, and a lot happened at the end of the last issue with the whole town hall burning down and everything, and we don't know where the judge went to, and there's a lot of mysteries here, a lot of questions. All right. Next, we move on to Heroes Reborn. This is issue 3. I know I'm the only one here that's reading the main series. You guys know my thoughts on issue 2. Issue 3, I think, I don't know if it has to do with Thanos. I'm not sure. Who cares? I'm having a fun. This is like how comics used to be. Like, you used to read a book, have lots of action, lots of flashy colors. Reminds me of, like, in a way of like X-Force used to be in the 90s. And sometimes that's what you need, right? We take these stories and sometimes they're so serious, right? And we break it down so much that it takes the fun out of a comic book at times. Heroes Reborn
I
is
like
that.
the drama. I like all this
Heroes
stuff.
Reborn, though, is that book that screw it. It's an elsewhere story. It doesn't mean anything. Pick it up, read it, just have fun with it. And I think that's what this is. So if you're looking for that, this is where it's at. So next is Batman Fortnite 0 Point issue 3.
Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm loving it. Batman, Fortnite. I like the backstory with Fortnite. I'm enjoying Batman being in it. I actually ended up getting the skin for Batman on Fortnite because I've been liking the comic, so I got the skin.
The second issue was really good.
Yes, it was.
I really liked it. It really gave a lot more depth to the story on what these characters were thinking, how they try to get out of this world.
Mike, your son plays Fortnite, right?
What's that?
Your son plays Fortnite, right?
Yeah. And so I've been getting the books, and then he's been getting the codes.
Nice.
So
did he get Batman?
He got Harley and the Bat Glider.
No, I mean, did he purchase the Batman that they put in the
he
store?
doesn't buy shit. No. I'm not making him. He's not spending money on that. And he knows it. Like, he is really good with his money. And anything that he gets, he's just going to get through the comic. And that's it. He doesn't spend money on skins. Like, he'll earn V-Bucks and then use the V-Bucks that he owns.
Well, that's what I mean. Did he use his V-Bucks
buy it? But he didn't. He
No.
hasn't played it enough, though, right now to earn
enough.
earn enough. Yeah, because he's not as into it as he once was. But he'll still play it, though.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And that is all the most anticipated. So, with that being said, we got stuff coming up, going on, guys. You want to mention it before we close out this lackluster show?
Yeah.
Go first, Kat. You got them. You and Mike have the most.
Yeah, so this Monday is going to be the launch of my Kickstarter with my good friend Phil. We're doing a crossover between Haunting and Like Father, Like Daughter. Like Father, Like Daughter is my comic about a high school girl. Father left her to become a full-time superhero, and everyone in the world loves him. So she inherits his abilities. So that's obviously a big part of that story. And then Haunting is about a young boy who has ghosts follow him, and he doesn't want to deal with it. He doesn't want to deal with the responsibilities. So this crossover has to do with a Halloween dance go awry when zombies and ghosts appear because of Bram. And it actually is a book about responsibility and how Casey and Bram kind of deal with it in different ways. It's a really fun crossover book. Artwork is spectacular, and that is launching Monday. And we have trading cards coming up for that one. So hollow trading cards as well. So we have some rare trading cards there and a lot of cool stuff for that campaign. And then hopefully tomorrow I'll have my reviews up, depending on what YouTube wants to do. But I'll have my best comics of the week, and I'm hoping to have an Avatar: The Last Airbender graphic novel way in advance graphic novel review sometime this week as well.
Right.
Okay.
Then for me, of course.
You go first. You go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, for me, I have my normal videos, guys. If you want to check out, go on Comic Book Corner 2.0 YouTube channel when it's working, and you can check out my top 10 comic book covers of the week, where you can vote on your favorite comic book cover. You can check out my top 10 most anticipated comic books for next week. That's on Tuesdays. And then on Wednesdays, you can always check out that awesome comic book haul that I always bring to you. This week will be on episode 475. And then I will be bringing you later on in the week my newest series called Buy Those Comics, where I give you a rundown of all the comic books that are getting ready to come out for the next comic book week. So that's all I have for you right now. And of course, guys, check out any of those videos. If you comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff, you can get entered and win X-Men prizes. That's right. Graded comic books, other comic books, trades, stuff like that. That's my road to 10K X-Men giveaway. And that's all I got.
As far as I'm concerned, this week finally stopped. Everything finally calmed down for me starting yesterday. That's a huge plus. For right now, though, I am doing Twitch streams, Chaotic Falcon 86. If you're watching on Twitch, which most of you are right now, I've commented in the stream a few times. If you like gaming, you can go there. Top 10 most anticipated on my channel, Dark Avenger C86, should be coming back. Let's see, we're on the 18th. It should be coming back, I think, in 2 weeks for the first week of June. Yeah, not this week, not next week, the following week. It'll be coming back in June. Brooklyn Boys, B-Boys, A Live will be happening tomorrow. It should be live. We should be live tomorrow. I should be live tomorrow with another vlog episode. And there's a few other things in the works, so definitely stay tuned for that. And this week also around the campfire. That comes out every week from Brand. Shooting Star Press's newsletter will be coming out for those of you that are subscribed to my newsletter. There will be a new newsletter this week, but that's all that I've got going on right now.
All right, guys. So for all 7 of you that have watched,
Shocked.
Well,
probably
we
one
have
of them
we have
probably
13.
one of them is me because I watch the comments on my phone, so that doesn't
we have
count.
13 on Twitch.
So that's
13
it.
on Twitch is not bad, but thank you guys for watching.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So, of course, guys, after post live, if you watch this video, please consider giving this video a like, subscribe to the channels, Comic Book Weekly and Comic Book Corner 2.0. Don't forget to hit that bell. Follow us on social media, which is the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, of course, YouTube, whenever it does work again. And guys, and until next time, this is myself, Kat, Chris, waving to you.